Hey guys, it's May May and I'm back. And tonight I decided to take the last 5 of the craft fair series we've been doing and put them together because over time we've talked a lot about several of these items and we just don't need to spend as much time on them. So I'm going to combine them tonight into our craft fair finale. So enjoy. So the first thing we're going to talk about is energy. Do you have the energy? Now, this sounds like, well, this is no big deal. You get there that morning and you set everything up and you just go to work. Well, that's not exactly how a craft fair operates. You have to have energy from the get-go. So you have to kind of space yourself out and be prepared for this. This is not something that you can just do the night before. You really have to plan this out. So, do you have the energy? Let's start with the first part of energy. The first part is stamina. Do you have the stamina? In other words, can you craft for 3 months before, your big craft fair? Can you spend so many hours a day doing it? If you don't have the stamina for it and you can't do this by yourself, you must call for friends or do projects that don't require as much physical labor. Maybe there's some things you can purchase more pre-made things, put them together by creating your project or your product. So you got to have the stamina. The next thing is to remember, this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Please do not line yourself up for a craft fair and only have 1 week to prepare for it. You will be so sorry. Give yourself time. Life happens. You've got to plan for this over the long haul. You can't just start running today and be ready by Saturday. You got to stretch that time out. So remember, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. Totally more of a marathon. And the next thing is satisfaction. I know it sounds like it doesn't fit here, but you ever just had a really good workout or you just really did something that you didn't think you could accomplish physically and you do it? As soon as this craft fair is over and you sit back and you look at how well you did or how well things you did were received, that's where that feeling of satisfaction and that feeling of running through that tape at the end of the marathon that says you're the winner. You'll work hard and you'll run the marathon, but you will be rewarded. So think about that too. There is satisfaction at the end. The next thing is, do you have the proper licensing? Now, this one's boring and it's very simple. You have to make sure you have the proper licensing for whatever you're doing. Obviously you can't set up a tattoo parlor in a craft fair. So, I mean, you know what you're looking for. The kind of licensing you're looking for is like retail sales. Do you have the proper wholesale license if it's required? There's so many different things you need to look at as far as the proper licensing. The biggest thing is, what does your craft fair require? Some cities, states, or counties or other municipalities may require that you have different licenses. The best way to find out is to contact yours. Now, I would start on the small scale first. So I would start with the city and work my way to the state. Some people may start the opposite, but I think the city can really lead you in the correct directions of where you need to go. And remember, some places may say you don't need anything. This is just a church bazaar or what have you, and you don't need a license. But you want to be sure. So check that out before you spend any money in this. Next is confidence. Now, I'm not spending a whole lot of time on confidence. We're going to hit some high points. And the reason I'm not spending a lot of time on confidence is I feel like we spent a lot of time on that when we did do you have the personality? I feel like personality and confidence go hand in hand. However, I want to talk about how the confidence is for you personally when you're standing there selling your wares and things don't go as you thought. That's the confidence I want to talk about because I don't want you to be crushed from this craft fair. I want you to be lifted up. So the first thing you need to think about is having thick skin. Let's say you made something that you spent a long time working on it and someone walks up and makes a comment like, oh, my friend makes these, but she makes them so much cuter and she adds this and that and this one's overpriced or whatever. You're going to hear that stuff. You got to know that you got to kind of let that roll off your back, and having thick skin with that kind of stuff will help. Artistry, some people do things better than you. Some people do things better than me, but be tough and let those people talk. And the next thing is being self-assured. Now, this is really important too because it's really good when you can pump yourself up about what you're doing and you don't have to have other people's opinions to make you feel better about what you're doing. Sometimes I'll make some project and just love it and think, I love everything about that. And then sometimes I'm going to make a project that I don't really like. But I'm able to tell myself, you know what, that doesn't mean you're not a good craftsman. It just means that that's not the best thing you ever did. So you got to kind of pump yourself up. Next is, do you have a vision? Now, vision comes with planning. As soon as you sign up for this craft fair, you need to start thinking what your booth is going to look like from day one. Imagine it in your head. Literally close your eyes and think of walking through this booth. It will help you to write down the things you need to prepare ahead of time to be ready. So, a vision. What are you wanting to accomplish? Almost like a mission. Like, what is your mission with your craft fair? So, you got to be able to have a vision. That starts with thinking of the project from start to finish. So you want to sit there and imagine, this is what my booth is going to look like. And in order to get to that place, this is the plan from start to finish. And it's very important that you can take the time to plan this out. You can't just sit down and start making a bunch of crafts and think everything's going to come together. You literally have to look at each item and plan them. This is where this will be, this is where this will be, and this is how many I'll do of each item. Now, I like to think positive, so I want to encourage you to see success. See yourself being successful with this booth. If you can just think, this is how I'm going to be. I'm going to be successful. You can put a lot of those worries and those fears behind and just conquer the day. So don't think, oh my gosh, am I going to be successful? How is this going to be? Just say to yourself, I'm going to work hard. It's going to pay off, and I will learn a bunch if I don't sell a bunch. So please see yourself as a success. The next thing is, can you be organized? I am the worst organizer ever. I do not organize. I have to sit down and force myself to organize something. I hate when somebody wants me to write something in detail or any of that kind of stuff. But if you can't be organized, you got to work around this because it takes so much organization to do this. You need to literally plan out every single project you're going to make, from how many to what kind and what size they are even. The most important thing you can do is be organized. Out of everything else you do, you need to know, I'm going to carry this and this, I'm going to sit it in this place on the booth, I'm going to spend this much time making this, not to mention supplies. You've got to organize your supplies for where you're going to be able to get to them to use them the best. So think organization from day one, and you will be so happy if you over organize. You cannot organize too much for a craft fair. Here's another tip. If you can utilize technology in any way, you should do it. If there's a way for you to use your iPad or your computer or anything to help you have a checklist, even your phone, if you can go check, done, I've got that done, check, I've done this. Utilize technology for organization. Even if it's just to keep your books. If you want to utilize some financing program or accounting program, that would be an awesome thing to do to keep yourself organized. Now, I'm a pen and paper kind of girl, so I do use technology a good bit, but for me, I would pick up a pen and a piece of paper. I would literally get a spiral bound notebook, and this notebook would be dedicated to everything I plan to do. I'm the kind of person who takes one page of that notebook and dedicates it to, say, earrings, and the next page to cards, and the next page to planners, whatever I'm putting out on the table, because I want to be that organized. And the cool thing is, as even though I'm not this uber organized person, I love to be able to check off that I've got these things done, because that energy level can be so much higher when, instead of you feeling like you have the rock of Gibraltar on your back because you have so many things you have to get done, you can go, nope, I have all of this done, and flip the page. I have all of this done, and flip the page. Don't forget about pen and paper in this technology society. It really does help you to visualize it and to actually write down, I have finished that part of the project. It really is helpful. The next thing is calling on friends. I'm not organized, but my friends are. No one organizes like my mother. She is an amazing organizer. Everything in its place and ready to go. If I can work with her to do that, and I try to, it's a perfect situation. And maybe you have a friend that loves to organize. Call on them, use them. That's a talent a lot of people don't get to use, because who wants to be organized all the time? But use that talent. Organized people love to show you how to organize. Now, I'm just going to talk over the end slate here for a second. I hope you guys don't feel like I rushed through the end of this video, but when I was sitting down looking at every single one of these topics, I kind of feel like I've kind of beat a dead horse with several of them. Everything we talked about in the first five this is just kind of reiterating what we've already talked about. So I didn't see a need to do a video for each one of those. However, if there's something that you really want me to focus on that you think I didn't spend enough time on, I'll gladly do that. But I don't want to make this so that you feel so overwhelmed. I think at some point it's time to just get out there and try it. So I challenge you to try it. Now, a lot of people have talked about pricing, and I may do a separate either series or video on pricing. Let me know if you like that idea. It's really hard to help you with the pricing. I can at least show you how you should do it from a black and white situation where there's no gray. It's where you're like, this is how much it costs to make it. This is how much my labor is. I mean, I can help you do that with those formulas and things, but let me know if there's something I missed that you wanted to learn more about as far as craft fairs. I love doing this kind of series for you guys. I want to help you guys be more successful in your business. And again, I hope you don't think, like, again, I wasn't trying to rush this end. I just kept thinking, I've already said that. And a comment somebody made to me one time was, you know what, you just say exactly what you need to say and move on. And I like that, so I don't want to ramble. So anyway, check me out on all these places on this end screen. Let me know how you like the craft fair series, and I'll be back Monday with Mondays with Maymay, where we will continue with our baby album we're making. So I just appreciate you guys for watching so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.